Hello, work life warriors. I hope you're doing well. Today, I want to come past and talk to you about another employee experience story. I found this one on Reddit. So let me see if I can go ahead and get it up for you all to see. All right, let's see. Perfect. Oh, it's not big. Oh, okay. All right, so you can see it. And the thread is it says, does anyone else hate their job so much that you try to stay up late just so you can avoid the next day coming? And that is so alarming to me, considering that this is what I do. I work with both businesses and employees to create win win situations, to reform the environment, the work culture, so that employees are more engaged, more productive, and that you decrease high turnover rates. So, hearing that, people are hating going to their job. It reminds me of what started me down this path of starting Be Social Solutions 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago. I worked in corporate America. I wanted to do a good job just like everyone else. I had trained most of my life to do a good job. But when I got in there, it was high stress. There was so many demands on me. There weren't enough feedback to help me grow and develop. I was constantly being told to do something different without being shown what to do. It was just complete madness, just very hectic. And so I would be depressed, like thinking about going to work. When I got home from work, I would just go home. All I could do is vegetate, um, and relax. Like, so most of the time, 5 days a week, I just came home from work, ate, and laid down in the bed and rest, read, did whatever I could to kind of get myself together to be renewed for the next day. But it was not working. It got so bad that I started having anxiety attacks and panic attacks every time she opened her office door quickly. I would escape to the bathroom and just sit on the toilet stall and cry, or practice some deep breathing, doing any type of techniques to kind of ground myself so I could prepare to go back to work. On Sundays, I would be so depressed knowing that another work week would start. On Mondays, I would have to literally sit in my car and talk myself into going into the building. It was just so bad. Well, what I realized in that instance is, one, I wasn't taught how to practice stress management, and two, I wasn't in the correct environment. So I would say start with you as the individual, because businesses are made up of people, right? So you as the individual, if you start managing your stress, practicing wellness, you have the ability to change your work environment, or at least change your emotions behind what is happening to you, right? So if you are working at stress management, you're working at wellness, and you're doing it every single day, you're getting up before work. So what I did was I started getting up before work, 2 hours before work, and I would fill up my own cup first before I would go to work. So I would get up, I would pray, I would meditate, I would journal, I would exercise, I would have me some quiet time. Depending on what day it is, I'll do a little laughter yoga, I would read, I would do whatever I needed to do to ground myself for the day. I would go take a walk in nature, whatever I needed to do before work starts. So basically, I filled my own cup up first. I paid myself and health and wealth first, before I went out and deposited my time to other companies. I made sure that I put my priorities first, and it completely revamped the work environment, how I felt about myself, the other players in the work environment. So no longer was I stressed after, it took a little while, but no longer was I stressed. The interpersonal relationships wasn't a hindrance anymore. The work environment completely changed for me. As far as my team, I taught my team how to do this, and for them, everything changed, and our team started working more efficiently together. We were more engaged and productive. We started cohesively eating lunch together, taking stretch breaks, lunch breaks, our 15-minute break, we would walk outside or walk up and down the steps. And so it had completely changed the work environment for me. But the second part of this is, although it had changed for my team, it didn't change for the entire company because I did not teach the entire company, right? I just taught those within my direct environment. So although the job or my direct environment changed for me in the moment, and I was able to be back, engaged in work and productive, and I didn't hate going to work, and I didn't have all of these negative feelings, the overall environment didn't change. So it's like we had our own silo in the middle of the company, but we couldn't always keep it out. So although I changed, the environment was unwilling to change outside of the people on my team that change with me. And so it doesn't matter how much you as the individual practice stress management. If you're in a stressful environment, eventually the stress will come into it will bleed into what you have going on. And so it was time for me to remove myself from the situation because it didn't matter how much I did to transform myself and my direct environment. We were still in the middle or right in the middle of a bigger environment. And it was very toxic. And so, what I would say to this Reddit post is, if you hate your job and you are staying late to avoid coming in the next day, if you are feeling that frequently, it is time for you to, one, practice your stress management and wellness to see if it's you or the environment. If you get well and the environment persists, then it's time for you to move on. And employers, it's in your best interest to make the type of environments where people show up. They want to do their best. They are engaged. They are productive. They have the space to connect, to be creative. And if you're making your work environment toxic, if it has a whole bunch of hierarchies in it, it's not a flat organization. You have a whole bunch of policies and procedures that don't help the employee. And if there is people abusing power, like leadership, this is the type of environment that you will have. And it's really unfair because work is or supposed to be a source of contributing your best self to the world, contributing value to the world. And so it's so interesting to hear that 87% of people hate their jobs. 87 worldwide, when surveyed anonymously, 87% of people hate their job. That's really sad. It's really disappointing because as an entrepreneur myself, you want people to come into your organization. You want them to be motivated. You want them to be inspired. You want them to give their best self. And you want them to contribute something of value to your organization, to your idea, to your mission. Entrepreneurs can't do it alone. We are good at one or two things, or maybe several things, but we need other people in order to make the dream work, right? And so it's in our best interest as an entrepreneur, as a CEO, as an employer, to make sure your work environment is family oriented, in the sense of like it feels like a work family, and it's enjoyment culture. So people wake up, they feel excited about coming to work. They don't feel dread. They don't feel like, oh, I don't want to go. Let me do something before. Most heart attacks happen on Monday morning, right? Most heart attacks happen when you are on your way to work, because work tends to be toxic for a lot of us because we're in the wrong profession or with the wrong company, and we're not really expanding the way that we should be. So again, it's in your best interest to remove yourself from environments that make you shrink, that make you deplete, that doesn't make you feel like your best self, where you don't feel like you're contributing to the world. And no, you're not the only person that feel this way. As you can see, there's a lot of different posts of people saying that they experience the same thing. Someone said it's 12:30 and it's stressing me out because once I close my eyes, it's 8 a.m. I agree with you. Unfortunately, I'm not reaching many companies. So this person is looking for another job, hasn't been able to find it, very stressful in the position that they're in. There are many people, as you can see, I'm having the same issue. People are paying for new resumes. Now, this thread is pretty old. But as we know, 2023 was the year of the great resignation. So people still feel this way, and jobs are actively having a hard time fulfilling roles. I now see commercials for companies hiring, which is crazy. So please share with me in the chat. Do you hate your job? Do you like your job? If you like your job, what do you like about your job? If you hate your job, what are you doing to manage your stress and wellness? How's the work environment? Do you think that by transforming yourself, you can positively impact the work environment? If not, it is time to make some next moves, but we cannot run forever because everywhere you go, there you are. So you don't want to spend the next 40 years running from job to job to job to job. You want to learn to master the skills like stress management and wellness so that you can find peace, joy, happiness, and all the good things in any situation that you are in. So I hope this helps, work life warriors. Have a great day. Share with me in the chat, how do you feel about being in the or being around or in the workplace, realizing that most people hate their jobs? Are you a person who hates your job, and how do you feel um, in the workplace? Do you feel fulfilled? Do you feel like you're giving your best self? Do you feel like work is a place where you're contributing value to the world, or is work a sense of dread? All right, work life warriors, I will talk to you on the next video. Have a great day.